I was trying to find out a bit more about that boxer, what's her name, Imane Khelif, who apparently is a biological male. No one fancies giving any proof of this, but they'll say it. I don't know. I wasn't going to be talking about this, but I don't know. I'm trying to see if anyone has any actual proof of what they're saying. Probably not. Very easy to sit there on Twitter or on YouTube and just make things calling someone a biological male, but hey, let's have a look. So this person here in the blue is apparently a trans woman.
For all you clowns out there that are saying it's no fair advantage to get transgender in women's sports, all of y'all out there talking about y'all protect women's sports, but you letting transgender fight against women. Look at this. Watch this video.
I think this guy was on Piers Morgan recently with Destiny and Chank. I can't remember what it was about though. I wasn't going to watch it, so but yeah, he's on the right, obviously.
Video brought to you by tatumstore.com. tatumstore.com. Make sure you get your merch link in the description section. Y'all already know what to do.
I have Tatum Store. It's all just like Trump shit. I'm surprised. I'm surprised these people can like make merch with like other people's like image on it that easily. But hey, I guess it's something you can do. So
let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not already been frustrated with the wokeness in the Olympics, I know there's a lot of good things. I saw this black kid doing the uneven bars or whatever they call them. I mean, he was not uneven bars, but he was flipping and doing all that stuff in gymnastics. And I thought it was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And I know that black people are pumping their fists in the air right now and saying, look, we taking over now y'all made fun of him when he was in school. And now that he's in the Olympics, you want to be on your side. Anyway, let me move on. A lot of good things that happen in the Olympics, a lot of good, competitive things that have gone on, good in favor of America. I never watched the Olympics anyway. I definitely don't want to watch it now that they do all this woke stuff. But the only Olympic event that I watch is track and field. It's the only thing I watch. 4x100, 400, 100-meter dash. I think that's it. It's the only thing I watch. Everything else, who cares? Now, I'm going to let you guys guess who's the transgender, who's not. And let me know how many seconds it take you to figure out who's transgender, who's a transgender person who's a man versus the person who's a biological woman.
So which one of these is trans, based on the information provided to you? Potentially neither of them? I don't know. No one has any, like, actual proof. They're just all saying that this person's a biological male, I guess, which, you know, very feminist. This person in particular, I don't think is, like, feminist or anything, but hey, there's a lot of crossover between, like, the right-wing people who don't like trans people, should we say, and like the feminists, you know.
It's totally weird and unfair, but this is the way they want to do it. They say JD Vance is weird. They weird. This is the kind of stuff they want you to see happen. That's weird.
Mate, if it turns out neither of them are trans, then actually the weird one is you right now. And everyone else calling them a fucking man. I don't know. All I can tell is, like, last year they were barred from a competition because they had, like, high levels of testosterone, which doesn't make you a man by itself. It doesn't make you trans by itself, so hey.
Roll the clip.
Mexicana, khelif.
Which one is the man?
Se está llevando la contienda ahora en las repeticiones, golpe de impacto. Sí. Se vio claramente de nueva cuenta el recto en combinación. Hasta 5 golpes alcanzó a conectar. Manejándose con el jab y otra vez en la combinación en el upper, otro golpe de impacto. Le van a aplicar otra cuenta de protección. Cuidado, porque si llega a una tercera ocasión es susceptible de que le detengan el pleito.
La velocidad de puños de Khelif no pudo contrarrestar lo rápido que desenfundaba tanto la izquierda como la derecha, y en la parte de este tercer episodio se estuvo comiendo en reiteradas ocasiones el jab y el recto.
Y bueno, pues aquí repasamos estos momentos de apremio para la mexicana, como observamos aquí que le estaban dejando el guante.
Which one is the man? Is it hard to see? I don't know. Y'all tell me. Is it hard to see which one the man is? Okay.
En el botón y la esquina azul.
Blue corner de Algeria.
Mate, are there enough pixels on the screen to tell what gender either of these people are?
El resultado, Kelly.
Homeboy ain't even trying. That mother ain't even trying.
That doesn't look like a man to me, but I don't know. I'm not the one, you know, the one making the claim has the burden of proof, and no one's proving anything. You ask people and it's like, oh, I have eyes. Okay, great. Well done.
Got a 5 o'clock shadow. Ain't even trying.
Khelif.
Es campeona de Golden Bell.
Where's the 5 o'clock shadow? Like, this is a low quality video, and you can see that he's like there's a lot more pixels in him than there is in the fucking video. Got a 5 o'clock shadow. Like, really? I ain't seeing one, but sure.
All serious.
That's a girl to you?
I'm not seeing, like, where's the fucking 5 o'clock shadow? There's more of one on me. You can't really see it from here, but you know. A man could be a woman with a sex disorder. Serena W. Hi. Yeah, could be. I don't know. She could be intersex. The thing is, there's a lot of people claiming that this person's trans with like no proof beyond the ban from last year for having high testosterone or something, which by itself doesn't make someone trans. And he's like, look at the 5 o'clock shadow. I can't see a fucking 5 o'clock shadow. It's a really low quality video, like, which presumably is the same one that he's watching whilst commenting on. I don't know. We're just being told over and over that this person's trans, and that's the proof that we're supposed to have, you know. I don't know. I guess we've gone past the point where anyone needs to like prove anything. Like, everyone just says something, and as long as enough people are saying it, it's a fact now, I guess. And this person was born male, so hey, her skin's nicer than mine. Yeah, same. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to work out where this is coming from, and I'm getting very little.
I quit the internet. I quit. I want to.
Like, the sad part is the whole wanting trans people to be in women's sports and stuff. It totally could lead to like a country that's not very scrupulous, you know, bringing in a bunch of trans people and not telling anyone and trying to get a bunch of medals. Like, it could happen. But like, how much harder is it going to be to catch that kind of thing if we've got idiots like this just calling anyone who has short hair or some shit a trans person, you know?
Do this no more. That makes sense to somebody to say, this is a woman.
Well, yeah, why not? You haven't presented anything.
And it's nothing wrong with this person competing against women.
He's not, like, I hate when these people do this, when it's like, what, you mean to say there's nothing wrong with what I'm seeing right here? It's like, well, I don't know what you're seeing because you seem to be looking at something different to what I am. I don't see a man, I'm sorry. Like, they got their hair cut short, like, wow, okay, great. No woman's ever done that before. I don't know what he wants people to see. But then, you know, you look through the comments, people just completely uncritically accept it. Where are all the feminists? This is a disgrace. Another reason to avoid the Olympics. Yet another reason to boycott the Olympics. Like, fuck me.
Aquí está por abandono, como ya les platicábamos desde la esquina.
Like, the closer the camera gets, like, he won't repeat when he said about 5 o'clock shadow. I'm very, very, like, I'm very aware of what a 5 o'clock shadow looks like, because I've owned mirrors in my life. I ain't seen one, I'm sorry. Like, what else
Dijeron, no más castigo para...
Homeboy ain't even trying. They're not even trying now.
Yeah, what's he even talking about? They're not even trying. What do you mean?
They just suit up and win the Olympics. Now
Listen, I don't normally shit on people for who they vote for, but I guess this is the kind of opinion you expect from someone wearing the hat of a fucking insurrectionist. So hey, great.
Y'all to pay attention to this. Maybe we'll watch it. Where is this person gonna finish in the Olympics? This first place, second place, third place, podium. They're gonna make a podium. I bet this person finished at the top. Comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this. Am I tripping, bro?
Yeah.
Or this stuff is out of control? See you on the next one. I'm out.
And it's like all of the comments, like, just uncritically repeating this. You've got all the people like fucking J.K. Rowling. Oh, shut up now. All the people like J.K. Rowling and shit like that, like, this person's trans, they just decided it. So, okay, great. I don't know. I'll see some proof anytime. You know what I mean? I listened to something earlier, like of that person actually speaking. They don't sound like a man either, but I guess, I don't know. There's the, you know, I'm not the one making claims on someone just by looking at them, you know what I mean? Like, you can't always tell, unfortunately, but people are so like, they've got it in their head so much that they know exactly what a trans person looks like, and like they can tell just from anything, and all you have to do is just never waver and just say the same opinion over and over, and it's like lots of people will take it as gospel, unfortunately. So hey, I'll watch this quickly because I was talking about, what's her name, Imane Khelif, I think her name is. She's supposedly trans. I've seen zero evidence of this, but everyone's just running with it, so I don't know.
Good afternoon, Britain. It's 33 minutes past 1.
Two female boxers who previously failed a gender eligibility test have been cleared to compete at the Paris 2024 Olympics.
Well, Algeria's Imane Khelif was disqualified
I do apologise.
by the International Boxing Association over high testosterone levels. And Taiwan's Lin Yu Ting failed a biochemical test for gender eligibility.
Both are deemed to pose an unfair
Yeah, that's the one. I haven't seen the other one yet. I don't know if she's competed yet, so.
advantage among other athletes, but should they be banned from this year's tournament?
Well, joining us now is the author of Fair Play for Women, Fiona McAnena. Fiona, thank you so much for joining us. Firstly, there's a lot of confusion in the reporting around this. Obviously, there have been some cases in the past where women born as women have naturally high testosterone levels, and sometimes there have been cases where it's transgender women. Do we know which it is in this case?
It's never about naturally high testosterone levels in women. When they talk about females with these high testosterone levels, they're really talking about males with disorders of sex development.
Wait. Surely, I don't know if that's true. Come on.
In some cases, rarely happens in developed countries, but in some cases, babies born with these disorders are wrongly labeled as female. And
so like someone like Caster Semenya presumably would fit that description. So is that what we're saying? Like, I've heard quite a few people say it's probably some kind of like developmental thing, which I'm inclined to believe. Oh shit. Semenya, not Semenya, I do apologize. What was it she had? I'm just trying to find intersex condition, 5-alpha reductase 2 deficiency and natural testosterone levels in the typical range. So is this a male? I'm not sure about that. Affects only genetic males. I need to learn more about intersex.
And then they grow up and go through male puberty, and everyone then knows they're male. They have, I don't know these two individuals in particular, but this is well documented now, for example, with Caster Semenya, that they have internal testes, they produce testosterone, they go through puberty, they have all those advantages. And frankly, the prospect of these people boxing against women, if they are male, is terrifying, and we should be very concerned. And
she's saying if. So they're not trans. Maybe they're, I don't know. This is the confusing thing. Like, is it an issue with how like intersex is dealt with in different countries? That some of them, they might really be male, but because of certain differences, they get culturally treated as female. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I need to look more into it.
The IOC should be very concerned, but seemingly they are not.
Fiona, I've got some statistics here that say that men have a 90% increased bicep strength and 162% greater punch power, meaning that the average man's punch has 2.6 times the force of one delivered by a woman. Are the Olympic Committee putting women's lives at risk?
I think there can be no doubt they're putting women's lives at risk. But
So it's July 30th. This is before the fight with that Italian woman that lasted about 3/4 of a minute or something crazy like that.
in mind that this is their stated policy. They have said that there should be no presumed advantage for trans-identifying males, what they call transgender women, or for people with differences of sex development, which is what we believe applies here. What that means is they are saying that if you're male, but you say that you're a woman, that's what they think is important. And in most other sports, this is not allowed, certainly in the biggest Olympic sports. But what's happened in boxing is that it was always sex-based. It's one of the few that never got this wrong because of the safety issues. But the International Boxing Association has been de-recognized by the IOC for other reasons to do with corruption. And so these are the IOC's own rules now being played out in boxing.
That's a fascinating distinction. It's also interesting to note that because this is... it's a very difficult line, is it?
I'm getting a bit of a college, media studies project, interviewing someone from these two. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that they look super young. I don't know. I feel old nowadays, so...
Not when there are people who might be registered as intersex, and it's such a tiny, small proportion of people that exist on the earth. But it seems like that might be what's at play here, is it not?
There are people registered, everyone's registered either male or female, but yes, you are right that there is a tiny number of people who are wrongly registered as female at birth. And as I've explained, when they go through puberty, that becomes extremely apparent. Now, those people are overrepresented in sport. Because, of course, if you're a registered female and you have all the advantages of male puberty, you are going to outperform a lot of other women. So really, a small number of males are causing unsafe play and indeed unfairness, too, across lots of other sports. And it's very stark in boxing because of the safety issue. It is dangerous. And it's nothing to do with size or weight, by the way, because if you match male and female for weight, as happens in boxing, in weightlifting, in judo, and so on, the male still has that gigantic advantage that Emma has described. So this is a problem not just in boxing, but it's suddenly becoming very apparent now that this is not safe.
How can they justify this difference from the policy of the International Boxing Association when it's so clear that this actually poses a serious safety issue for women? Because, of course, there are all sorts of issues when it comes to biological men participating in women's sports. But it seems so obvious that in a sport like boxing, that women could actually die as a result of this decision. And surely they are aware that they may be held accountable if that happens, if they've actively chosen to differ from the International Boxing Association's policy on this.
Well, you would think so, but you see, when your policy is driven by ideology rather than science, this is where you end up, because the IOC made that statement in 2021 saying no presumed advantage on the basis of trans identity or differences of sex development. So now they're stuck with following that through. If you say that trans women are women, then this is where you end up. These boxers, as we understand it, do not have trans identities, but they have disorders of sex development. They have male bodies. So
yeah, I mean, they could potentially have been misassigned at birth or whatever the word is. It's possible. But, we don't know. And I don't know, there's a lot of people running around saying that they're, trans and stuff, which is a bit crazy. It's a bit crazy, calling them men when you don't even really know what's going on with them. I don't know. It does seem like there should be stricter standards, you know? When it's something like boxing, for sure.
But the impact for women competing against them is the same, and it is indeed dangerous. But I would say, we shouldn't have to wait until it's seriously dangerous like this. We've known that it's unfair. In the Tokyo Olympics, we had a male weightlifter in the women's competition, and everyone knew that was unfair, and still nothing was done. So weightlifting internationally has finally changed its rules, and now they don't allow males in women's competitions, but it took the Tokyo Olympics to make that change. But this one is all really on the IOC. This is their choice. It's their policy.
Now, we don't know whether these individuals actually even knew that they were intersex or had a difference in biological...
That's possible as well, to be fair.
sex development as they were growing up. It seems that there is a lot of uncertainty around this case. But what we do know is that with intersex people, they might also be at risk themselves if they were put in the male category. I mean, what should happen here? Perhaps a third category?
Look, everyone is either male or female, and you're quite right. They may not have known. They have been subject to tests.
How is a naturally higher testosterone different than someone's height? Well, they might be like male is the problem here. Like someone like that Caster Semenya, she had an intersex condition that affects males, but she was like raised as a female, so it's like possible that they were like misassigned at birth, but we don't really know for sure. And I mean, with like boxing, I can see how like increased testosterone, if it increases like your punch strength a huge amount, then it could be like dangerous for everyone else, potentially. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, it's potentially someone with like an intersex condition, but they could end up being male because of that, if that makes sense.
Tests in the past. It seems pretty clear now. It's not complicated to work out if someone's male or female. There are lots of simple ways of doing that now. Most people never get to the Olympics. So quite honestly, if they're not good enough to box in the men's category, they shouldn't be there. There's no right for people to get access to sport in order to perform. But there is an expectation that women and girls will have equal opportunity in sport, and that has to mean not having to compete against anyone male. That's what's simple about this.
Okay, well, Fiona McAnina, thank you so much for talking us through that.
God, he even got a name wrong, Jesus. Is it his first day on the job or something? I don't know. Yeah, it sounds like maybe they didn't do their due diligence. I don't think people running around on the internet calling these people like trans and like shitting on them like that is cool, but I don't know. All right, so the first thing we have is about Imane Khelif. We're watching an Abba and Preach video. I like Abba and Preach. See what they're saying about it. We watched someone, was it the other day? I can't remember when I last streamed. There was someone saying that she had like 5 o'clock shadow and shit, which I don't know where the fuck they were getting that from. Another one which seemed to be suggesting she was intersex, which maybe, I don't know. Anyway, let's have a look.
Today's topic, the Olympic boxing match that's turned into a big worldwide controversy. I think everyone's just got it wrong, all right?
Oh, you talk about you talk about the trans girl that, no, man, that was crazy. This trans woman was allowed to compete.
Okay, so they're not trans. They've never been trans. They've never identified as anything other than what they've been. They were born a female, and then they were raised as a female.
But they failed a gender test.
We'll get to all of that in a second.
Testosterone.
We'll get all that. Let's begin the context. Okay, so the context is there's a boxing match that just happened at the Olympics in which an Italian fighter fought an Algerian fighter, and the Italian fighter, after one round, basically withdrew from the fight.
46 seconds.
And said, I'm not going to keep fighting. According to her, it felt very different. It felt like being with something different. And even her coach, before the match started, said, hey, listen, if you don't want to do this fight, she decided to do it. The question...
I'm a bit worried I'll get copyrighted for this, but their video's up, so who knows?
Were risen. Well, who is this person, and are they trans? And some people point to the fact that they were disqualified by the IBA, which is the International Boxing Association, in 2023 for failing a gender test. And everyone went, oh my God. The IOC affirms the fact that this person is a female, always has been, and everyone is now talking about this issue.
So there's no transition here.
All right.
Yeah, I'm convinced she can't be trans. There's a possibility that she's intersex and is actually male, but we really have no evidence of that at the moment.
There's never been a transition, okay? This person was not born anything other than what they are. What has essentially happened is that the IBA disqualified them. Now, some people aren't aware, but the IBA is a Russian-led organization that's been at odds with the IOC for quite some time, and then in 2019 was stripped of its ability to govern over boxing matches and to be seen as like a subsidiary of the IOC. The reason why is IOC, International Olympic Committee, normally defers to certain bodies to manage regional and international competitions, and based off who wins from that, those athletes get to go to the Olympics, okay? Because obviously the IOC can't manage swimming, sports vaulting, so they defer to other organizations. And the IBA used to be that organization until it was stripped of it for not providing good financial reports, for basically sketchy behavior in a lot of other realms in terms of decisions, and not having rigorous systems set in place. So they got...
Honestly, like, the main disagreement seems to be whether you believe the IBA or not. I'm like torn. I don't know too much about boxing. I don't really know much about the IBA, but that's really where the disagreement lies, I guess. And then there's a hell of a lot of vitriol for what is essentially, you know, do you believe the IBA or not? Some will, some won't. So I don't know.
Stripped that. They kept running events, and a lot of boxers participated. And at one such event where there was an undisclosed test, essentially there was some gender abnormalities, but we don't know what that means. And there's no assertion that these people are trans from any of the bodies involved. That's something that the internet has taken and ran with, but that's not the case. There's a possibility that either of these two athletes could be intersex, but we don't know. And intersex is much similar to the South African runner for Caster Semenya when she was disqualified for some time.
She has, it was like 5 alpha something or other. Hang on. I had it like earlier. But yeah, Caster Semenya, I believe, is actually male and has a specific intersex condition that only affects males. Yeah, 5 alpha reductase deficiency, I believe it is. Reductase 2 deficiency. But yeah, only affects genetic males. Hang on, let me just... So yeah, 5A reductase 2 deficiency. This is what Caster Semenya has. So Caster Semenya is technically a male. I guess what would have happened is that she was misassigned female at birth, because, you know, if anyone's going to be misassigned, it's most likely to be intersex people, right? So that seems to be what happened there. Anyway, let's keep going.
But then requalified after the governing bodies decided that intersex people should be allowed to compete. And if you're not familiar with what intersex is, let me just read the textbook definition so there's no ambiguity, okay? We're going to do the whole goddamn thing.
It's funny that you try to read the definition of so that there's no ambiguity about something that's so ambiguous.
True. Intersex people are individuals born with any several sex characteristics, including chromosome patterns, gonads, or genitals that, according to the official United Nations of High Commissions, do not fit the typical binary notions of male or female bodies. And what does that mean? You can present in a lot of different ways. You could be born as a female in all the presenting ways, and maybe your chromosomes are different. You could be born looking like a traditional female and maybe have a different genitalia. Little changes like that. That has nothing to do with transgenderisms. All these individuals are born this way. Now, the question that comes...
This is true. Intersex doesn't disprove the binary, like, at all. People treat it as if it's like a third sex or like something between the two sexes that shows it's a spectrum. That isn't true. So it affects... The conditions affect males and females, depending what it is. So what Caster Semenya has, for example, affects males.
Afters, is there some level of heightened advantage that these people have? And even that's not clearly determined. All of this is speculation. Nobody has access to these people's medical records, and they're never going to get access to them, because if I had medical records, I don't want nobody releasing my shit without my consent. You guys have watched this channel long enough. I have always been against transgenders transitioning and then competing in a different gendered sport, okay? I don't accept that. I've always been against that. This has nothing to do with that, okay? And jumping to conclusions, being outraged over the situation.
Yeah, pretty much anyone that's calling a man trans, like, they're automatically wrong. There was someone I watched yesterday, I can't remember what he was called, I think it was some black conservative kind of guy. He was like pointing at a chin, being like, oh, look at the 5 o'clock shadow. It's like, bitch, where? That's the smoothest chin I've ever seen. Fuck me.
Is essentially doing the exact same thing that you were worried transgenders were going to do to biological women. You are stripping a woman's right to be able to compete in something that she should be able to compete in because you're being illogical. That is exactly what the people who championed transgenderism in sports did. right? All the people who are championing all these trans women competing against biological women, you're doing the exact same thing as them with the same logic. Zero facts and science, zero evidence. You're just yelling at the top. That's stupid, okay? I pass it off to you.
There was another boxer as well from China that was
Taiwan.
Taiwan, yes.
Do not do that shit, bro. Get me my fucking communist flag. That's crazy. Yo, you are bought and paid for. That's crazy.
I'm bought and paid for.
That's a faux pas right there. Shit.
Paid for. You know how much it costs to get YouTubers to say China instead of that country that shall not be named?
No, I wouldn't know because nobody proposed anything to me, but you know.
I don't know. You just rolling through with new motorcycles every time I see you.
How much is it?
Okay. How much that cost in Chinese yen?
I wouldn't know.
No. See that little smile? We don't believe you. Carry on.
You have the same smile, nigga.
I don't have that smile.
Yeah.
I bicycled here.
Yeah. But you got condos and properties here and there.
I have one property.
No, you don't.
And it's a simple condo. And it's one.
Right.
Nice try, though. Nice try.
Right. Nice try. Big condo.
How many bikes you got in your garage?
Oh, yeah. I don't have none.
On my driveway. You think I didn't know anything you gonna do? Yeah. How many cars? Okay, just saying. Okay.
All right. It's just I saw a lot of people on my social media jump on it and jump to the conclusion talking about, oh shit, female sport is at risk and this and that and whatever and the third. And a lot of people were jumping on the thing, like you said, without making the proper research and stuff. And then you look at it, and I saw nowhere was the mention of trans. And I started asking questions, and then I said to myself, would Algeria even let a trans person compete?
I would think.
It's like illegal there or something. Like the trans argument is just bunked straight away. It's whether she's like intersex, but we don't know. So hey, but it's nice that all these celebrities like J.K. Rowling and so on are just throwing this fucking thing out there. You can tell who like falls in line behind that kind of person because they're all on it, trying to find any reason they can to justify the fact they've been calling someone a man. And hey, maybe she is male. I don't know, but there's no fucking evidence. So hey.
I'm just saying. Whoa. Roll that back. Would Algeria let a trans person compete? Would Algeria let a trans person exist?
Live. It's like, you know what I mean? I don't want...
have you guys tried to look up the LGBTQ population in Algeria and Morocco? You know what they're doing? They're eating couscous in the sea. Okay? Because that's the only place where they're welcome. The fishes.
I'm just saying. So nowhere was there mention of that. And then... I was talking with some people. It's like, yo, I know some people that fought her, and they felt the difference, and just one punch that was able to. I'm like, okay, so what? We're not gonna let Mike Tyson compete? Because I've seen Mike Tyson finish fights with the same people of the same weight category, just finish fights, and it felt different to some people that was fighting. Are we gonna base ourselves on that? I think we need to be a little bit more rigorous into the way we're feeling and.
Well, people want to believe that she's a man, I guess. I'm not sure why. They have their reasons for it. I'm not sure. Maybe some people just need to have a problem with something, and that seems to be the easiest thing. I don't know. To me, it's like there's no evidence, so I don't know why I should take any of it seriously, but, you know.
The way what we're putting out there, right? You understand what I'm saying? It's like... I've seen the same instances with people that were from the same weight class, and nothing was ambiguous about the way and everything and stuff. So just be careful of what you put out there.
Yeah, I think the big question is if they turn out to be intersex, which again they may not be. They may not be. But if they were intersex, should they be allowed to compete? And then you get into a different discussion because people were like, well, we have to test their testosterone, which again they never tested here. So even though that's trending on Twitter,
yeah, there's loads of claims. John Cabell Brackenridge, hey, how you doing? Yeah, there was a lot of claims that her, her testosterone level was the same as that of a man, but it's bullshit. Like, they didn't test for that. It was some kind of gender test that hasn't really been specified, and supposedly she and, I think it was Lin Yu Ting, I think the other one's called, they both failed or something. And then Imane appealed that one, but then withdrew the appeal, and I'm not sure why that would be, so, hey.
The IBA admits that they never tested their testosterone levels or anything like that. Let's say they did test, and they said there's going to be an upper limit. That would be something that they would only apply to the female category, because the male category has no upper limit of how much testosterone you can have in your system naturally. No. So if you were born as a man with... No, there is none.
For testosterone?
Yeah, there's no upper limit. Now, if you're fine to take androgynous stuff that maybe makes your thing go really crazy, then they go for the androgynous stuff. But if you're naturally just supplied with more testosterone than everyone else, there's no limit. And there's some people who have medical conditions that actually give them higher levels of natural testosterone. They'll go, oh, there's a picogram of this substance of Anavar or whatever. Or they've tested.
Most of the criticisms of imane is 80% speculation. Yeah, there's tons of speculation flying around. And to be clear, like, I do a fair amount of speculating myself because none of us know. To me, I'm leaning towards her being female. But ultimately, I don't know either way. And if I say I think she's female and then she turns out to be intersex, well, it's like, well, hey, I didn't know, did I? What the fuck was I supposed to think? So, yeah.
Positive for this substance, but never for testosterone. That's not how it works. But it can be an indication that there may be some doping level. Yeah. But anyways, to come back. So you would essentially be putting in an upper limit to the female category that doesn't exist for the male category. Which
Hi, Frank. Caught you live. Hold up. You know why? She's mannish AF, which stands for her. Yeah. A lot of people are just like looking at her like, oh, I've got eyes, you know. Okay, great. Like, I've heard her speak. She sounds like a woman to me. So there was someone else I watched that was saying about like the 5 o'clock shadow. I couldn't see any of that shit. And I'm trans. I think I know what a 5 o'clock shadow looks like. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bit wild myself. Like, people wanna complain about something,
which is unfair. And also, if you try to base it off chromosomes, well, listen, they might look like a female, they might have a uterus, give birth, everything, but if they have an XY chromosome, they shouldn't compete. There are women with XX chromosome who are intersex, okay? And they have conditions that give them higher levels of testosterone. So you have to understand, this is an incredibly complicated topic, but since the start of these competitions, we've always allowed intersex people to compete. It has not made it impossible or not possible for biological females of all kinds to be able to compete against them and win, including these two women who have lost many boxing matches and have come up short, okay? Also, for other little bit of information, Caster Semenya was reinstated for her gold medal and is allowed to compete, and that's been the rule. And if you got it wrong, that's okay. Listen, I've gotten things wrong.
I'm surprised Semenya was reinstated, considering I believe she actually is like born male or something. But hey,
gotten details wrong in the story. I have had to retract statements. That's okay. I'm talking to the creators who didn't even do a basic Google search.
Just type in 2 words. You just have to go and
this is why I'm not on Twitter, because everyone on Twitter just
there's a lot of garbage there.
Yeah. Also, this is a rumor, alleged, so I just want to put this at the end. Supposedly, the reason why these two got banned for this gender test, is supposedly they went up against Russian fighters just before and defeated them, and then shortly after were disqualified. Now that's something that people allege, but considering the history,
where's the sheets? But considering the history of Russia,
but I'm putting a big disclaimer. That's a rumor.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
All right, so that was that. It's going to autoplay, so let's just shut that off. And get rid of that for a sec. I just wanted to look quickly, because like I said, there's a lot of celebrities that are like weighing in on this, often with very strong opinions. Here's J.K. Rowling. Wow, another trans person talking about J.K. Rowling. I avoid talking to her as much as possible because I just don't care that much, but she's been pushing this stuff hard, and she's very influential. So we've got this one here. We've got media outlets might relish the search of clicks they gain by distorting biological realities. What realities those are, I'm not sure. However, these lies have serious consequences. It is not an exaggeration of fear that such distortions may soon get someone killed. Well, that really depends on what the biology actually is. Does J.K. Rowling know that? I'm not sure. But yeah, we can see right away. I've actually looked at this already. The left's assault on language surrounding sex and gender. So you already know what side of the aisle they're leaning on, you know. And ultimately we should be focusing on the biology of it, not what the left is saying and all that shit. So Colin Wright, evolutionary biology PhD, sure. Hey, who knows? Yeah, a lot of right-leaning stuff. I'm familiar with the queer majority. I assumed it'd be like a soy outlet of some kind, but it's kind of not. But yeah, barrage of powerful punches. We're really over-egging the pudding. Suspicion of fighter doping with exogenous performance-enhancing drugs. Rather, the outcry centers on Imane Khelif, who is biologically male. How do we know that? What's the source for this? Is it cited anywhere? I'm at the bottom of the... I guess it says keep reading with this 7-day trial, so maybe that's how they get away with it, who knows? Like, I'll tell you one thing, I'm not buying a subscription to this fucking thing to find out, you know? And, you know, we mentioned Fallon Fox as if she's got anything to do with Imane Khelif. If Fallon Fox actually said this, just so you know I enjoyed it. See, I love smacking up turfs in the cage. Like fuck that shit, that's disgusting. But what's this got to do with Imane Khelif, you know? So this person apparently knows that Imane Khelif is male, but hasn't felt like letting us know. We've got the IOC discriminates against female athletes. It abolished a simple test that would have stopped Paris being remembered for televising male violence. So yeah, again, apparently we know for a fact that this was male on female fighting somehow, but no one's going to actually cite what it is. And if they are, okay, this is completely cucking me. How nice. Well, that's fine. Why do they all got fucking paywalls on them? I'm not paying for anything. The IBA awarding Carini with 50,000, like, Jesus Christ. I guess they're going to have to give that to everyone that loses to Khelif and also to, was it Yu Ting, the other one? What else have we got? Males enjoy performance advantages in competitive sport. True, I'm not personally pro trans people in sports either when it comes to trans women in women's sports for that reason. They're bigger, stronger, etc. Yeah, this is saying nothing. Like, we don't know what her sex is, ultimately. What else have we got? Shocking, dangerous, and profoundly unfair on women and girls. Hang your head in shame. Sharon Davies. This is a biological male fighting a female and absolutely everyone can see it, can they? They have also failed gender screening twice. I don't know if that's true because she had the first test in Istanbul in 2022. She then had another test in New Delhi, I think it was, in 2023. But she was still able to compete in 2023, having been tested in 2022. That doesn't make a lot of sense. But hey, everyone can see that this is a male, apparently, so that's nice. The idea that those objecting to a male punching a female in the name of sports are objecting because they believe Khelif to be trans is a joke. We object because we saw a male punching a female. Well, did you see that, or did you see what you wanted to see, which might have been that? No males in women's boxing, who fucking knows? Just done a BBC interview. Several facts were presented wrong to me. Did not have testosterone tests. It's a fairly common lie at this point. They didn't have testosterone tests. She is correct there. And then Casta Semenya. Yeah, well, anyway, that's about it. I don't know how much deeper I want to go into this because there's a heck of a lot of like speculation. But hey, this is what I mean. Like, these celebrities will just jump on it because it's like ideologically advantageous, and J.K. Rowling's one of them. Like, I'd love for her to show me where I'm going wrong. This person is a male because I ain't seeing it personally. I think we should have confirmation of that before we start saying stuff like that. And hey, who knows what they're going to say if it turns out that they were all wrong, because I don't know, we're just doing our due diligence while you've kind of harassed the shit out of a woman. So that's very feminist. How nice. Anyway. Look at Gabby Garcia. She's also super mannish. I'm not familiar with Gabby Garcia. Hang on. That's not like me. I'll have a look into her though for sure. Did she have a controversy as well? And got Cupboard of Cheese. How are you doing? The amount of conflicting information on this going around is insane. Yeah. Lots of people assuming chromosomes equals sex. I don't think it's even been confirmed that she has XY chromosomes. It's been claimed by IBA. But again, a lot of this comes down to, do you trust IBA on this or not? So I'm not really sure. But yeah, a lot of celebrities very sure, despite not having a sport background and having quite clear sort of reasons as to why they might think a certain thing. But yeah, I mean, hey, like, J.K. Rowling's like gender critical thing, it's the same as any other like rights movement. They have to have something to complain about, and at the moment Imane seems to be the easy target, because no one's really talking about the other one is the other thing. I don't really see much about this, was it Lin Yu Ting, I think her name was. But yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you? I'm good, yeah. It's God's fault that he just made a sequel having this discourse based, I agree.